There is a strange comfort in knowing that no matter what is changing in life, the sun will rise no matter what. Hey you, welcome to my channel, A Year in the Day. My name is Jenny and October was the calm after the storm. Sitting on this beautiful beach in Greece, watching the sun rise over a distant island, painting the skies in the most wonderful colors, I suddenly felt very aware of the things that are about to change in my life. And it is both scary and wonderful at the same time. These past few months were a bit intense. I experienced some job-related burnout this summer, and the plans I had been making for myself turned out to no longer be valid. At the same time, we were planning our wedding, which wasn't the best of combinations, but also provided me with a fun, creative outlet. And then September came around and wrapped everything up. Not only did we get married and had the most lovely day with our family and friends, I also found myself a new job. At the start of October, our honeymoon brought us to Greece, to the small island of Kos. And it was there, surrounded by sunshine, bright blue skies and the beautiful ocean, I could finally take some time to let it all sink in. And I was very aware that our week in Greece was a transitional period between an old and a new chapter in my life. Change can be a scary and uncomfortable thing, but it is also necessary to level up in life. And I felt grateful I could mentally prepare for the next steps in a place as ancient and beautiful as this. Back home, October was well underway. The trees were slowly turning color, and the forest was filled with beautiful mushrooms and that lovely specific autumn smell I love so much. I will not start my new job until December, so with some spare time on my hands, I had many plans for YouTube videos, drawing sessions and tarot deep dives. But when I came back from our honeymoon, I wasn't feeling any of it. I tried to record some videos, even played around with the idea to appear on camera for the more chatty-like videos I enjoy so much from others. But everything I created felt forced and depleted of energy and fun. I didn't feel like doing any of it, and it showed. And it is in times like these I get really frustrated with myself. I have always wished I was the kind of person that has the focus and determination to pick one passion and completely immerse in that one thing. To stay consistent and become an expert, and therefore successful. But the truth is, I am not that kind of person. Blame it on character or ADD. But my interests and obsessions change by the month or the season. I find myself rotating through my many interests, picking up bits and pieces of skill and knowledge on the way. And it might be time to start being okay with that. However much I would like to have focus and interest in only one specific topic, that is just not my way. So instead of spending time being frustrated with myself, I decided to spend time facilitating my needs in October. I need space to practice yoga indoors during winter, and I suddenly have this obsession with my sewing machine. Okay, then I will rearrange my little studio so I can make the best use of my space for that. And if my needs change in a couple of months' time, I will just change it back. It was actually quite liberating to be kind to myself and allow myself to spend my energy in a positive way, without questioning or judging. Even though that meant I made 0 videos for my channel in October. But I'm here now, so let's move to my table and see what I created and loved in the month of October. Let's start with some souvenirs I brought back from Greece. I always feel a bit guilty for bringing back natural treasures, but in the end I couldn't resist bringing a few stones and a shell I found on the beach. In Kos City, I got this really whimsical wooden hand that has real witchy vibes. It's displayed in my bookcase at the moment, but I think I should definitely give it a pretty spot in my tarot cabinet. On to the creative stuff. I already mentioned my sudden need to work with my sewing machine again. So let me reveal what I was actually working on. I got this book by Honeymoon called Tiny Wardrobe, which shows just how lovely and whimsical dolls' clothing can be. And dolls' clothing seemed like the perfect way to learn about sewing patterns. I mean, they are small, cute, and way less intimidating than human clothing. I really enjoyed this book, and the step-by-step instructions really helped me in understanding the basic principles of how a clothing pattern works. But what is the fun of making dolls' clothes without a doll? So I picked up this custom Blythe doll I got secondhand through a website here in the Netherlands. And it sent me down this whole rabbit hole. Apparently you can get fake Blythe dolls pretty cheap on AliExpress. but they come with shiny faces and standard eye colors. So there are people out there customizing these dolls, and I was so impressed with the results. It takes real skill in sculpting and painting to create all these different characters. I realized that creating dolls and creating doll clothes is much more about character creation than anything else. And it's a great way to combine all the crafty stuff I love so much. But to be honest, I felt a bit weird and ashamed buying a doll as a grown-ass woman. And I almost left it out of this video completely, even though I had so much fun indulging my inner child. But in the end, I can't be bothered hiding stuff like this on my own channel. So there you have it. It will just be our little secret. Next up are books. I finished rereading June, and I had forgotten what a page turner this is. It is really multi-layered, dealing with stuff like political intrigue and collective consciousness. But ultimately, it is mainly a quick-paced and action-packed story, and I really enjoyed it. And of course, we had to rewatch the most recent movie adaptation, which was even better after just reading the book. I moved on to reading Girl Struck Island next, a book by Frances Hardinge. Even though I have only read a couple of her books, I find her to be an author that can just transport me into another world within 10 pages. I absolutely loved Fly By Night and its sequel, Twilight Robbery, and have now decided to read her other books as well. Girl Struck Island has actually been waiting in my bookcase for years, I'm ashamed to admit. But I am so happy I picked it up now. As far as new books go, I completely fell off my low buy year wagon, and that had two main reasons: eBay and Amazon price drops. So here we go. I found out one of the books by Frances Hardinge was actually released in a special hardcover edition, illustrated by one of my favorite illustrators, Chris Riddell, but it was not available anywhere. But I searched around a little and I found out I could easily get it on eBay for like 10 euros. So of course I couldn't resist. From there I found out Chris Riddell and Paul Stewart, who have already created the amazing Edge Chronicles series together, had actually created another series about dragons, which were also available on eBay for under 10 euro each. So yeah, of course I had to have them all. These are second-hand copies in pretty good condition, although one of them turned out to be an old library book still containing some ugly stickers. But since this was the only way to get my hands on the hardcover editions, and they were very affordable, I am not complaining. The next two books I got because Amazon sometimes has these crazy price drops for books on my wishlist. This hardcover edition of Gallant suddenly was 10 euros and it seemed like a fun read, so I caved. Another one I caved on was another book in a series of which I already owned, Pride and Prejudice. These are classics illustrated by Marjolein Bastin. She is a Dutch illustrator who has made a fortune illustrating for magazines and stationery worldwide. And as a child, I always associated her art with calendars and stuff the moms of my friends liked. But apparently, I am now at an age where I can also appreciate her artwork. And these hardcover editions are just so beautiful and fun. Not only filled with lovely little illustrations throughout, but also containing stuff like maps and letters in the style of the story. Now, these books are normally pretty pricey. They are around 40 euros each, which is the main reason why I only have Pride and Prejudice, which is one of my favorite novels. But then I noticed Wuthering Heights for like 12 euros, which was insane. These are the kind of temptations I just cannot resist, so here it is. I added it to my collection. Unlike the amount of new books I got in October, I didn't get any new tarot decks. Instead, I felt the urge to say goodbye to a number of decks. So let's take a look at the decks I currently have for sale. Some were already in my This or That VR a few months back and were in purgatory for a while, but I am now ready to let them go. Starting with the Ostera Tarot. This is a collaboration deck by 4 illustrators, and I think it's the inconsistency in styles within the deck that just doesn't vibe with me. It's not the deck's fault, it's lovely. I just don't really bond with collaboration decks easily, because I always end up liking one style over the others. So I'm letting go of this one for good. Celtic Tree Oracle is lovely. It comes with a hardcover book, a notepad and spread. And of course the illustrated cards. I just have no intention whatsoever working with the OM, so this one can go to a new home as well. The Terra Volatile is a fantastic deck filled with alchemical references and beautifully illustrated cards. However, This gorgeous version with its thick cardstock and hardcover box is more like a collector's item, I feel. I got it to replace a linen edition that came flawed from the printers. But in the end, I actually prefer working with the imperfect linen edition over this collector's item. So this one can go to a new home, where it will hopefully be properly treasured. The Nouveau Tarot de Marseille by illustrator and musician Gonzalo Eneas is beautifully illustrated, but the cards are pretty big, and since I'm not really vibing with pip decks, it has been collecting dust in my tarot cabinet. I thought of trimming it, but in the end decided it's best to just rehome the deck and send it out in the world again. The Old Ways Magic Oracle is a beautifully illustrated deck. But I have mentioned here before, I'm just not really vibing with it for some reason. I tried working with it in October, but it is just not speaking to me at all. And since it is a beautiful deck that deserves some love, it's best to just rehome this one. Last but not least, I also decided to sell my copy of the Fantastic Menagerie by Baba Studio. It is a beautifully produced deck, but it just doesn't spark joy for me the way it should. And even though this is now out of print and it would be expensive to replace it again in the future if I regret rehoming it, I just can't be bothered to hold on to it just in case I change my mind later. So I'm letting this go as well. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in any of the decks I'm showing here. If you're living in the Netherlands or wouldn't mind paying for shipping, then I'm sure we can work something out. Because I would be happy to rehome it to someone who is watching this. So let's move on to journaling and take a look at the decks I worked with for my monthly spread in October. I already showed the Old Ways Magic, so I won't go into that one again. I combined it with the Druidcraft Tarot, which has perfect autumn vibes if you ask me. I trimmed this one back to the artwork and I absolutely hate the sticky, shiny cardstock. But still, it is one of my favorite decks ever. The art by Will Worthington is lovely, and the guidebook that comes with this deck is so good. Lastly, I added clarifiers from the Change expansion pack of the Spread Machine Oracle, which seemed fitting considering everything that's going on in my life at the moment. I always create my spreads at the start of the month, and it is so lovely to reflect back on them. My spread for October really represented my month well. With a new day job on the horizon, I really try to push myself this month, getting my mindset ready to start a new job at a new company with loads of new people and skills to learn. The Two of Swords perfectly reflect the period of time between accepting my new job and officially finalizing it and being able to share it. And of course, there was the Fool, to remind me change does not always have to be scary or uprooting. It can also be exciting and adventurous. A few other cards also kept popping up for me this month. Hope, the Magician, and the Hermit perfectly mirrored my month of October. Moving forward towards new adventures, hoping better days are ahead. But for now, enjoying my little studio and the time I get to spend there being creative. That's all I have for now. Thank you for sticking around even after my quiet month here on YouTube. I hope I will be more productive next month, but no promises. I hope you at least enjoyed my October ramblings and random favorites. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!